There is nothing here but suffering. Pain and suffering. It is time to go.
This show is very hard to watch just in terms of like how much pain it elicits, how much pain it contains. You know, it is just like gut-wrenching. Why do you think that making space for and like receiving the whole, you know, all of it is important and artistically essential?
I think that's a really thoughtful question. I think it's incredibly important that these stories are told. And I think what I hope that people will take from this series is, you know, as a global community, we have, and as a human race, we have a long way to go in regards to empathy, understanding, and unity. And I hope that this series will contribute to that conversation in a large way and allow audiences to reflect and say, what can I do that is conducive to progress?
I was wondering, you know, you obviously are not from the US. Did working on this make you sort of like further wrestle with the UK's history of like oppression and inequality?
Absolutely. I had a number of experiences internally. I think, you know, first and foremost, it deepened my understanding of this particular period of time in history and the African-American experience. And it also, I reflected on the oppression and systematic racism that occurs here also. And for me personally, whenever exploring or discussing experiences within the Black diaspora, you know, it always connects with me. And if ever I have the opportunity to tell a story about these things, I want to do my utmost to tell it with as much authenticity as possible in order to honor those that really experienced it.
So William Faulkner once said, and this is in the New York Times review of the book, the Underground Railroad book, "The past is never dead, it's not even past." How do you hope that this show reminds us that just because slavery isn't legal in the US or, you know, everyone thinks, oh, my family wasn't involved, but that's not true at all, doesn't mean injustices aren't still happening?
I think it's extremely clear that there is a huge amount of injustice, systematic racism, and oppression that is still unsettlingly present all over the world, in America, in the UK, and in other parts of the world. I think that's undeniable. It is undeniable, and yeah, I just hope that this is, you know, this contributes to that conversation, as I've said, and gives people an opportunity to reflect and you know, further recognize that we have a long way to go. But if we come together and pursue that common goal, hopefully we'll reach that objective of unity and empathy and understanding.
So we very pointedly don't get to see what happens to Caesar when he is found by Ridgway. Why do you think that is? And you know, I'm personally very happy about that. What about you?
I think for me, what Barry did so amazingly is he allows Caesar to transcend from a physical space to a spiritual space later in the series. And Caesar comes to a very violent and hateful end. And with Barry allowing him to transcend into that spiritual sphere, we see Caesar triumph over that hate and that violence and live on in Cora and in her journey. And I think that's really important.
Hold on to what belongs to you. Mm-hmm. What's her name?